Hello, dear parents of the Libra child. I hope you are all doing great. This reading is for the month of June. And dear parents, there is so much going on here as we approach the end of May into June and July, astrologically speaking. So if you've been experiencing a lot of turmoil and change in your family life and in your world and your career, just know that it's a lot of it has to do with the astrological energies that we are currently experiencing. And it's a time to really be gentle with yourself and love yourself through the pain of whatever chaos you're going through. We have Saturn that's gone retrograde here, that's going to be retrograde in the sign of Aquarius for about 4 months. And then we have this eclipse that just took place in the sign of Sagittarius opposite Gemini, which was an intense eclipse. And then we have Mercury gone retrograde here on May 29th, and it's going to be retrograde most of June. So May, June, and also it's still in shadow through July 7th. And there's also a Neptune square hitting Mercury during that time frame, which means basically it's a time to really stay away from gossip, making sure that everything that you're listening and hearing from other people, that you're researching and not just readily accepting and believing things that are said right now, because there is a potential for being misled and whatnot. Anyhow, the point is that it's a heavy month. And as a parent, you're definitely going to feel this, and just know that you're not alone in it. Be gentle with yourself. And yeah, okay, so let's get started here with what's going on with your child, your Libra one, here in the month of June. Okay, so we have the Page of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. Okay, so a couple of things here. Little Libra is kind of wanting to do their own thing here in June. There's going to be, you're going to notice a little shift here happening where little Libra potentially wants to be left alone, which is not usual for Libra. Libra is very good about collaborating and being with others and playing with others. But there's also a new expansion happening in terms of their own ability here. With the Page of Pentacles, this tells me that little Libra is learning something new. And whatever it is that they're learning is potentially taking a lot out of them because it's new to them. It's something that they've not really explored before. And this could be due to, potentially you are going into a vacation period here from school, right? Because we're in June, and depending on where you are, of course, so where you are and what part of the world you are. But I know that in the US, a lot of little ones will be on summer break here in June. And there's also graduation happening and all of that. But what's going to happen because of that shift, little Libra is going to be kind of thrown into learning a new ability and also scaling up in terms of their own self-worth and ability. But whatever it is that they're working on here in June, whatever this new thing that they're learning about themselves, whether it's how to play an instrument, how to play with a new kiddo, how to create something from scratch, whatever it is that's tangible that they are working on, has got them, feeling a little bit tired. And that's just because they're putting in energy into something that's new and different, right? So, it's okay if you notice that little Libra needs to sort of check out a little bit and rest. That's what's needed. There's also an expansion. So I feel that for some of you who have little older Libras here, you might have some that are going into that are learning about meditation. They're learning about the spiritual realm. They're learning to access a different part of themselves, like in a more spiritual and elevated way. So for some, it's going to manifest differently, right? For some, it's going to manifest through wanting to rest and kind of being left alone. And for others, it's going to manifest in this very unique way of expression through spirituality. You might have little Librans that all of a sudden are interested in things like crystals and just like random things, right? Crystals and rocks. What do rocks do? And, meditation and just things that are different. But in any case, whatever it is that they're doing, whatever new concept they're learning about that is tied into their self-worth and who they are as little individuals is going to potentially make them feel a little tired and needing some time out. So just be aware that that's part of the shift that's happening for little Libra in here. And then in terms of the challenge and potential conflict here, we have death and the Sage of Coins. So this is about change. This is about huge shifts happening potentially in his or her environment. This can be someone moving away, someone moving into the home, or your entire family physically moving away somewhere, starting over from scratch in a new way. This can also be graduation, dying to one grade level to be rebirthed into a new grade level, right? So there is a huge shift happening here. And, death is also associated with the sign of Scorpio. So that may mean something to you as well in your household. And the Sage of Coins is a very, this could also indicate a prominent figure in his or her life that is essentially the grounded person, right? This could literally mean, the passing on or the change in health for maybe a grandfather or a grandmother or someone who took that place of the sage of the family or the grounded um, teacher or master. This can also be moving away from a beloved teacher that they really cared about and moving into a different direction, like leaving a school where his or her favorite teacher is at and knowing that he or she can no longer go back to that, right? So this can play out very differently. But the point of these cards together is that there is an elevated way of teaching and learning that's changing, that we're dying to go into a rebirth, and I don't mean literal death, obviously. I mean like that we're moving away from to shift and change and evolve. So there's something here that's being walked away from that, little one is feeling, right? So the Sage of Coins can represent grandfather, a grandmother, an instructor, a teacher, a spiritual guide, even a therapist, anything and anyone or a parent that brings groundedness and stability to the household or the environment of the child. Okay? Okay. So in terms of alleviating this a bit or balancing this out, let's see what you can do, dear parent, to help little Libra out here. Knight of Cups. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is about really offering little Libra opportunity to show him or her affection and love and bringing him or her to nature, preferably near water. But it's also about very openly, you as the parent, having the strength to communicate clearly about what's happening and the changes that are happening. This is not about sweeping information under the rug. This is not the high priestess asking us to keep some information. This is the diviner of swords. So what this tells me, when it's paired with the Knight of Cups, it's about being clear, direct, and honest with your child about this huge shift that's happening and what it means, but doing it in a loving way, presenting it in a way that's loving, that has harmony, a very Libran way of doing it, right? Communicating directness in a not so Aries way, I'm an Aries, so I'm very direct when I bring up information. And so the need here is to be more Libran because it's balanced out with the Knight of Cups here. So it's about, so some of you are going to need to have difficult conversations. I'm sorry, little Libra, but your teacher that you love will no longer be the same one next year, or this is a goodbye. Have to say goodbye to this person you love. because it's that old way of doing things, or that person will no longer be, you're moving away from that. Being honest about that, direct about that, but in a very loving and compassionate way is what's going to be required of you here, dear parent, for your little Libra in the month of June. So you're having the tough conversations. So it could be some serious deals here, like some serious conversations. For some of you, it will literally be about someone passing on. And, for others, it'll just be about the evolution of life, right? Going to the next level. Okay, so let's see if there's any other advice here. There you go. That's confirmation. You got the same card twice. You got Knight of Cups. This is the Knight of Cups, and that's the Knight of Cups. So that's confirmation to make sure that you're offering this information with love, compassion, but it needs to be given. These are conversations that need to be had. As a side note, this reminds me of, without getting too into it, this reminds me of how sometimes when little ones are itty bitties, sometimes people advise, like if a grandparent dies or someone in their little lives passes on, I've heard mixed notions on whether or not it should be communicated to little ones. I have a personal story about that I won't go into, but in my personal experience, what I learned, having the ability to inform a little one of a major shift as someone they loved passing away, really is important in terms of giving them the closure. It's better than just, oh, that person just disappears one day and we're not honest and upfront about why it happened. And even if you don't have the answers about why something happened to your parent, just communicating it and bringing it out to the light in a compassionate, loving way will really result in a lot of healing for your little one, or potential as they grow up and develop, right? Okay. Anyhow, whatever it is that's going on, dear parent, I send you a big hug. And hopefully it's not anything too serious, but just remember, we are all going through a huge shift with all of these astrological energies. So keep that in mind as you navigate this June and July with your little Libra and your other kiddos, of course. Okay, everyone, lots of love to you. I will see you back here in July. Please remember to subscribe. It will help me out so much. You don't even know how much that would help me, and I would appreciate it. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.